All right, now we're getting somewhere. You've found your terms and you've thought broadly and narrowly about those terms to generate a list of alternatives. Now we need to shift our thinking so that we're thinking like a legal research database. Bleep blarp bloop. Does this mean we need to learn how to code? Why, no, my friend, not exactly. But we do need to understand how databases are organized in order to find the most efficient path to the specific information we need. And how are databases organized, you ask? Well, my friend, they are organized through words. Think of each keyword and each alternative to that keyword as a tree. Every tree has a root system containing branches that are variations on spelling, tense, or plural forms. You want to make sure that you nail down that root so that you don't miss all of those various forms, and you want to do that for each term that you have. By working with the roots of your terms, you can learn to increase your results if you're not getting what you need, you can refine the results you have to get more specific, and you can be as efficient as possible. The three techniques we will work with are truncation, wildcards, and phrase searching. Let's start with truncation. Truncation means finding the lowest common denominator in a word to catch all the variations in its endings. Let's take, for example, one of the terms from our prior research scenario, the word immigration. Not every legal resource is going to talk only about immigration. They may also use the words immigrant or immigrate, among others. If we only search for immigration specifically, we would miss out on those two other words. Or we might catch those documents, but if the document uses all of those words, it could potentially be even more relevant to us. Plus, those other words have their own variations in tense and contain plurals. But common to all those words is the root of the word immigration, I-M-M-I-G-R-A. If we add an exclamation point to that, the database will now search for all these variations and will return results that contain them all. A note of caution here. It is possible to truncate a word too far. For instance, if we want all variations of the word contract, like contracting, contracted, contractor, and contracts, but we root the word down to C-O-N, we would also get words like contest, contour, constitution, and concert. Instead, we would want to root down to contract. The next technique to be aware of is the use of wildcards. A wildcard is a symbol that replaces one letter or no letters, as we'll soon see. Two words will serve as our examples, woman and labor. If we're looking for resources that use the word woman, we probably don't want to miss out on the plural of that word, women. And labor could be spelled the British way, something to consider if we're in the international law context, and could be spelled L-A-B-O-U-R. But how do we ask the database to return either of those variations? This is where the wildcard comes in. Using the wildcard in place of a letter within a word, like in woman, asks the database to look for either W-O-M-A-N or W-O-M-E-N. Adding a wildcard where there could be a letter asks the database to return documents that contain both labor or labor spelled with a U, as the wildcard can also stand for no letter. And the last technique we will talk about is phrase searching. There will be times when we really are certain that we want the exact words in the exact combination that we have spelled out. This often comes into play with legal terms of art. A few examples are fair use, double jeopardy, or the Federal Tort Claims Act. These phrases have very specific legal meanings and most likely would not be discussed any other way, or at least not have roots that may be useful. In order to ask the database for just those phrases, we simply need to put them in quotes. It's like we're telling the database, see how I'm saying it? That's how I want it. So to recap, once you've figured out your terms and different alternatives to those terms, take those terms and find their roots. Think through the different ways they could be spelled, tensed, or have plurals. You can do this through truncation, wildcards, and phrase searching. Have a go to the left on trying out these concepts. Next, we'll be combining our terms together with connectors to form search strings. Exciting stuff!